how we can best address the challenges our country faces, we are all agreed on the goals that we must pursue. We are all agreed that we must unite all South Africans to achieve the complete emancipation of all our people. We have noted that across all the commissions, there was a shared consensus that both the ANC and the government must respond adequately, urgently, and assertively to the challenges that our people are facing on a daily basis. The challenges include the burden of unemployment, poverty, crime, gender-based violence and femicide, corruption, social cohesion, racism, the energy crisis, and the rising cost of living. These are but some of the challenges that are urgent that our nation faces. Delegates recognize that these many challenges will not be resolved unless we intensify the genuine renewal of the African National Congress and the building of a capable, ethical, and developmental state. This means that we need to clearly define and articulate the character of the African National Congress as a non-racial, non-sexist, and democratic liberation movement that must continue to mobilize, to organize, and lead the motive forces and society in pursuit of the national democratic revolution. The renewal of the African National Congress therefore requires that we remain rooted as a movement amongst the people, and we must demonstrate a willingness to serve and make sacrifices, and must also be willing to acknowledge and address our weaknesses. Since our 54th National Conference, we have made important progress in implementing our resolutions on renewal and rebuilding, but we have recognized that at this policy conference that we need to act with greater urgency to implement the other resolutions as well, much as we have implemented a number. We have agreed here that the overarching framework for renewal needs to include, firstly, the renewal of the ANC's values and organizational culture and ethics. Secondly, dealing decisively with corruption and unacceptable conduct. Thirdly, engaging and pursuing the aspirations of the people of South Africa. Fourthly, taking responsibility to use the resources of the state for the people's benefit as required by the Constitution, economically, efficiently, and equitably. This task belongs to every member. It also belongs to every leader, every public representative, and every structure of the African National Congress. All the elements of our renewal framework need to be integrated into every aspect of our work in the ANC, in society, as well as in government. Policy Conference agreed that ANC branches should play a more active role in the renewal process and be well rooted amongst our people. This 6th Policy Conference has affirmed our fundamental position that the people must and shall share in the country's wealth. This Policy Conference has agreed that we need to undertake extraordinary and urgent measures to accelerate inclusive growth, create employment, and alleviate poverty. We have also noted with great concern the impact of the rising costs of living on South African families and have made a number of recommendations specifically on rising fuel and food prices. We have called on government to act urgently to support consumers and businesses at this very difficult time. But these measures will not be successful unless they are embraced by all sections of society and unless all sections of society are involved in forming and undertaking these measures. We are committed to build an inclusive and lasting social compact. While different constituencies that must help to build this social compact may pursue different interests and may hold different views, we share a common national interest in unity, stability, growth, employment, and prosperity for all. We have discussed the respective and complementary roles that the public as well as the private sectors should play in developing our economy. We have called for the state to be strengthened, for our state-owned enterprises to be stabilized, restructured and effectively capacitated to drive inclusive economic growth and social development. We have recognized the vital role of the private sector, particularly small business and the informal sector, including cooperatives. We've recognized that private sector should continue to play a role in creating employment and other livelihood opportunities, and so should the public sector as well. And we have proposed a range of measures to unlock the huge potential of businesses of all sizes to emerge, to grow, and to thrive. We have recognized that our economic progress requires a secure supply of affordable and sustainable energy. Conference endorsed the actions recently announced by government to improve the performance of Eskom's existing power stations and to add new generation capacity to the grid as quickly as possible. It has affirmed the need for a diverse mix of energy sources and a just transition to a low-carbon economy that ensures our energy security, protects jobs and livelihoods, and does not compromise our industrial development. Expanded infrastructure investment should be accelerated to play a critical role in providing basic services to urban and rural communities and also improving South Africa's overall economic performance. We must use available means, including the new expropriation bill, to accelerate land redistribution. As the delegates to this policy conference, we are determined to achieve gender equality in all areas of life, starting within the ranks of our own movement, in every structure and in every program and in everything that we do. As the African National Congress, there must be parity. We have agreed that this is everybody's responsibility, and it's not only the responsibility of women. As part of this, the empowerment of women economically, politically, socially, and culturally must be one of our foremost priorities. Among other things, conference has urged the application of an overarching equality legislation, and using procurement more effectively to empower women economically. And this is all set out in the reports that are going to be circulated from the various commissions. We are all agreed that all South Africans have a right to live in peace and security, and that no one should live in fear of crime, violence, or abuse. We are committed to work together to end all forms of violence committed by men against women and children. All delegates to this policy conference are agreed that the development and empowerment of our youth is vital to the future of our nation. We have agreed on the need to intensify our efforts to provide young people with quality education and relevant skills, to expand the various programs that bridge the gap between learning and earning, and to use all available policy instruments to encourage businesses to hire more young people. We are all agreed that every person in this country must, without exception, have access to quality education, decent health care, housing, water, sanitation, electricity, and safe as well as reliable transport. This means that we need to fundamentally overhaul local government and ensure that it is properly resourced, effectively managed, and it should be led by honest, capable, and well-qualified and committed people. The conference noted again the historical anomaly of the private ownership of the South African Reserve Bank, and reaffirmed the 54th National Conference resolution that the bank should be fully owned by the people of South Africa. Delegates urged the ANC government to find mechanisms to restructure the ownership of the bank in a manner and at a pace that takes account of the likely cost implications for the fiscus. Delegates also urged that the process for establishing a state bank should be accelerated. All the measures proposed to grow and transform the economy rely on a fiscal policy that ensures that our national debt is contained within sustainable limits and that spending is reprioritized away from consumption towards investment. In this way, we can align our fiscal policy with our industrial policy, which should focus on rebuilding and broadening our industrial base. We have agreed to propose that the procurement system should by law be more open, more transparent, building on the initiatives for greater public access to all tender information. This conference has demonstrated more clearly that more than ever before, our common commitment to rid our organization of factionalism, patronage, and corruption, and to renew and to rebuild our organization is quite an urgent mission. It has made an unequivocal statement that we must fulfill the promise that we have made to our people to place their interests and their well-being first amongst all things that we do. We have reaffirmed the resolutions of the 54th Conference on corruption and state capture. The overwhelming view of the policy conference is for the retention of the step-aside provisions to enhance the integrity of the movement and its leadership. Conference also noted that there are strong concerns on the perceived lack of consistency in the application and implementation of this policy. Conference agreed that these must receive urgent attention so that the application of the guidelines is impartial, is fair, and is consistent. Delegates have affirmed the ANC approach to the report of the State Capture Commission and have urged that the findings and recommendations of the report form the basis of a society-wide effort to tackle corruption in all its forms. Over the last 3 days, through intensive and thorough discussion, we have developed a series of policy proposals on how to achieve our revolutionary objectives. Some existing policies have been affirmed, some have been refined, and some have also been changed. These policy proposals will now go to the structures of our movement for further debate before being placed before the 55th National Conference for consideration and adoption in December. Let us use the next few months to build our branches through political discussion, as we have done over decades, whether in our mass formations, as we have done also in exile, in prison. Let us turn every branch meeting into an umkhabulo session. Let us broaden discussion of all these policy positions, and as it was said earlier by Comrade Jeff Hadebe, the reports are going to be consolidated into a publication, and all that will be sent to all our branches for discussion. And let us use these meetings, comrades, to deepen the political consciousness of the hundreds of thousands of ANC members so that they may lead the fundamental renewal of our movement. Because we do believe that as we discuss all these proposals, through that we will be deepening and broadening the renewal process. This policy conference does give us hope for the future of our movement. It has sent a clear signal to our members, our supporters, and indeed to the people of this country, whatever our challenges, whatever our shortcomings, the ANC is alive. It has sent a clear signal that the ANC is committed to consolidate and deepen the freedom for which so many sacrificed their lives. This conference has made plain that the ANC will continue to direct its attention and its significant capabilities towards serving the people of South Africa, particularly the poor, the working class, and the vulnerable. This policy conference gives us encouragement that yes, the renewal of the African National Congress is unstoppable. And that we have both the means as well as a commitment to rebuild and to revitalize our movement. Our sincere thanks, comrades, must go to all those who were involved in ensuring the success of this 6th National Policy Conference, particularly our comrades in the SGO, the staff of the African National Congress, who have borne the brunt of the ANC's financial challenges and difficulties, but who have had time and again, have also demonstrated their commitment to the cause of their movement. And we must thank them sincerely. This conference has determined in virtually all the commissions that the resolution of the challenges, financial challenges that the staff of the African National Congress is facing right now must be addressed as a matter of priority. I wish to thank all the comrades who've been involved in the preparation of the documents, as led also by Comrade Jeff and the others who worked tirelessly to make sure that indeed we do have this conference and that the discussions took place as they did. I wish to thank all of you delegates to this conference, the representatives of our alliance partners and our other formations. This 6th conference has effectively prepared the path towards the 55th National Conference of the ANC. Let us now go out to our branches, to our communities, and to all social formations to report on these deliberations and to work together to decide the direction of our movement and of our country. As they say, the African National Congress is the way to go. And indeed, this is the way to go. So comrades, I wish all of you as delegates and all others who've been here safe travels as you go home to your various places until we meet again in December. The ANC lives, the ANC leads, and our struggle.
United States,